The Purdue University Library's Archives and Special Collections receives many different kinds of material from a variety of sources. We collect Purdue publications and official documents, the personal papers of administrators, faculty, staff, and alumni, artifacts, clothing, rare books, artwork, and photographs. Photographs often present the archivist with problems. If you go to any antique shop, you'll find boxes of old photographs. Only on rare occasions is there a name attached to the image. These were undoubtedly purchased at an estate sale because the surviving family members did not know or care about who was in the picture, when it was taken, and what the occasion prompted the sitter to have their picture taken. We have had many pictures that have come into the archives over the years from various sources that have no information attached, or over the years, individuals have written information on the back of the image which may or may not be correct. Many were taken by university employees or local professional photographers. These images were intended for some short-term use, such as a newspaper story, and no documentation was attached because there was never any intent to use the image again. When we are presented with a photograph with no information attached, we look for things that will help us discover the who, what, where, and when. We use such things as the Debris Student Yearbook, University Annual Reports, the Annual Catalog, the Purdue Exponent, and the Lafayette Journal and Courier, campus maps, and pictures that have been well documented. We look for obvious things first. For example, what Purdue buildings are in the picture. We know when they were built, modified, and demolished. Do we recognize anyone in the picture? What are the hair and clothing styles? What model year is that car? Then we look for details. Can you read the plaque being presented? Is there a date visible on the letter being signed or on the notebook in the figure's hand? Is there a calendar in the picture? Can you read the button the figure is wearing? Take this image, for example. When I found this picture, there was little information associated with the image. I knew from other similar images that it was a shot of the interior of the second library on campus. The first was in Purdue Hall. In 1878, according to university documents, it was moved to the newly completed University Hall. We know from university documents that the library in University Hall was modified twice, once in 1886 and again in 1895. We know from these sources that the center of the second floor was cut away and a broad stairway, alcoves, and galleries were added in 1895. The open second floor is clearly visible in this picture. We now know that the picture was taken during or after 1895. In many official photographs in our collection, you can find calendars on the wall or letters or newspapers on the desk. These are good sources to look for dates. Notice the banner hanging off the second floor railing just right of the white pillar. Banners praising athletic accomplishments were hung in the library during this period. The date on the banner is May 23, 1904. Now we know that the picture dates after May of 1904. We also know from Purdue University history that this library was moved to a new building, the university's first and only freestanding library, in 1913. Now look at the calendar and magazine rack below the banner. The calendar clearly shows the date April 4th, Thursday. However, no year is visible. There are many perpetual calendars available on the internet. By typing in this information on one of these sites, we get two possible years, 1907 and 1912. We have now narrowed the possible date to 2 years. To finish the research, we need to look at the magazine covers. Two are of Scientific American, and one is the Woman's Home Companion. This required a visit to Hicks Repository and an interlibrary loan request. The top magazine, one of the Scientific Americans, is the March 30th, 1907 issue. The Woman's Home Companion is also the March 1907 issue. From this information, we can state that this picture was taken on April 4th, 1907. Here's another interesting photograph. When I first examined this image, the only information available was the word homecoming. Is that what's going on in this image? First, let's look at the upper half of the image above the tree line. Two buildings are visible. Old Hevelin Hall can be seen on the upper left. This building was built in 1894 and torn down in 1956. In the center of the image above the tree line is a pyramidal structure, which is the roof of Eliza Fowler Hall, built in 1903 and torn down in 1954. Now we know that the photograph dates from on or after 1903. The most obvious object in the picture is the flag. If you study early 20th century American flags, there are three: the 45, the 46, and the 48 star flags. If you examine the star pattern closely, the only one that it matches is the 45 star flag. This flag was used between July 4th, 1896 and July 4th, 1908. Now we have narrowed the date of the image to between 1903 and 1908. Automobiles are found in many photographs. They are somewhat useful, but since many people keep their automobiles for a decade or more, the best you can say is the image has to have been taken on or after the model year of the newest automobile in the picture. The three vehicles at the bottom of the picture date from the 1905 to 1910 period. Now let's look for detail. You may need a strong magnifying glass for this work. The central figure in the image is the square of people. Let's look at the front row. Notice the band. If you look at the debris student yearbooks from the early 20th century, you will quickly discover that the Purdue University military band uniforms shown in this picture were replaced in 1913. The caps they are wearing were first worn in 1906. Now we have a date range of 1906 to 1908. In the upper left corner of the square of people, you can see the Victory or Purdue bell carriage. This bell has a long and interesting place in Purdue traditions. The unique carriage first appeared in the 1907 Debris Student Yearbook, but some sources place its construction to 1906. The presence of the carriage confirms the lower end date of 1906, so we have confirmed that the image was taken between 1906 and 1908. Further work to narrow it to a single year is ongoing. Now, what is the event in the picture? Now notice the front row of people. Several are carrying placards that read 01, 02, and 04. These designate the years the individuals graduated. These placards are common in early photographs of homecoming festivities. You can also see the individuals are older than the typical student, and there are young children seen throughout the lines of people. From the photographs in our collection from the 1930s that are better documented, we can determine that this image was taken during the Gala Week Alumni Parade to John Purdue's grave, which took place in June. With a little detective work, you can recover lots of information about photographs. For your family photographs, we recommend as soon as possible spend time with your older relatives and record the information about the who, what, where, and when in number 2 pencil on the back edge of the picture. Do not write directly on the center back. You may harm the image. Do it soon. It only takes one generation before the information is lost. If you have Purdue-related photographs, no matter how mundane or trivial you may think of them, we would be interested in adding them to our collection. We are particularly interested in images of student life. Thank you for watching.